This is Dino Run, a racing platformer made in 2008 by Pixel Jam, published by XGen Studios, and today I'm going to review it. Released in the golden year of Flash games, Dino Run caught the eye of the public very quickly since the 8-bit style was quite popular back then. It combines simple mechanics with a challenging gameplay along with a charming retro aesthetic, making it a beloved title among Flash game enthusiasts. And because of its fast-paced action and competitive nature, it gained quite the attention as well as a dedicated community. First, let's discuss the graphics, as they were and still are eye-catching. Even though there are a plethora of games which try their hand at the 8-bit style, not many make it their own like Dino Run. While the visuals are quite simple compared to modern games, they have a certain nostalgic charm that many players find appealing. Though by design 8-bit graphics are not detailed, this game manages to alleviate this problem because of its fast-paced nature, focus-grabbing gameplay. The same can be said about the animations, as you don't pay much attention to them while trying to escape the doom. Adding to the overall dynamic of the artwork, come in the multi-plane backgrounds, which make smart use of the panning speed as to better represent the distance. There are also weather effects which fit in quite nicely and actually add to the difficulty of the game by obstructing the player's vision. Now, let's talk level design. As a platformer, the game nails the basics very well. The terrain is intuitive and for the most part simple enough to navigate through. But as you progress to the challenge game mode, the scenery and the difficulty of the terrain changes gradually, which ensures continuity in the level design. Adding to the playing time, there are a dozen of Easter eggs, literally, which you can try to find for extra points. As many other great Flash games, it has the trait of being easy to get in and hooking you for hours on end, even more so when the multiplayer was in its prime. The controls are basic and you know what to do almost instantly, and if not, you'll know after a few seconds. Though, the movement does feel a bit wonky at times. Acting as extra motivation, the upgrade system encourages the player to search for the special eggs and get achievements, as you need DNA points to progress further in the game, as some levels are quite hard without the upgrades. The personalization aspect of the game is still fun to go through, even though it was more important when the multiplayer was still in use. This is a recurring topic, as there are a lot of features that were more important for the multiplayer aspect of the game, but they are welcome nonetheless, and I will judge them as they were meant back in the day. Also, the fact that you can purchase backgrounds with in-game points is also a cool and quirky addition. I kinda wish that more games would do that. To me at least, it seems like Dino Run has all the gameplay features that you could want from this type of game, and so the experience is very well rounded and complete. Following the design of the game, the sound component is minimalistic but effective. All the music is 8-bit based and includes different sound effects, like the dinosaur's footsteps and the rumbling of the approaching asteroid, adding to the overall immersion. There are also a handful of songs that are fine, but tend to get a bit boring after you've played long enough. It's not a big deal, as the overall selection of sounds is very appropriate for the game. Thanks to the continuity of the level design, the world design is well sketched out and has vastly different areas in terms of setting, but which are based on the same basic terrain structure. Not only that, but there are a dozen of different dinosaurs depicting some of the most well-known species, each with different characteristics and some even adding to the gameplay, like the pterodactyls. And now that we have finished the overview of the game, it's time to give it a flash score. For starting with the graphics, as I've mentioned, Dino Run tries its hand at the 8-bit style and it does so quite well, attracting people just for that. Even so, it still is a 40-year-old style at this point, so it gets a 6 out of 10. The level design is very good, as it is very easy to get into the game and have a fulfilling playthrough, and it gets an 8 out of 10. The gameplay keeps you dialed in most of the time and it offers all the tools necessary to make the experience your own. Adding to that, it has a multitude of features meant for the multiplayer, and so it gets a 9 out of 10. The soundtrack and sound effects are well suited for the game's theme, but they are nothing exceptional, and so sound gets a 7 out of 10. The world design is well rounded and diverse enough that you can get a lot of playtime out of this game, so it gets a 7 out of 10. Rounded up, and the flash score is 37 out of 50. In conclusion, thanks to nailing the basics of a competitive platformer very well and following it up with features that encourage you to get better so you get all the achievements or just a place on the leaderboard, Dino Run is a success story when referring to Flash games. And so, I will see you next time.